not very good up until this patch. So it's definitely not a hero that's been practiced. And a Rhyme ban, I don't think that's necessarily just a counter ban away from Divine Aurora, because we've seen Rhyme being banned away second ban quite a lot. But maybe it's partially thinking, yeah, we probably want to go melee jungler. Let's just ban away their Rhyme. And in response, once again, Divine Aurora just banned Rona.
Yep. Very similar drafting coming out from Divine Aurora. I mean, if it's not broken, why fix it? So the Rhyme, I definitely call the Rhyme ban if they are going to go for a very high, melee or just assassin comp. Like you mentioned earlier on, assassins just so very strong in 2.9.1, and with the rise of Reza, right? I keep constantly go back on to Reza because I just think that Reza is a very strong hero now. But what the side of Renegades can actually opt for as a laner, I don't know. I mean, there are a couple of laners. I mean, Adagio definitely did not work well then. They can go for Baron against a Castrol in that early game. Not in the early game, but in the mid-late game, you would kind of have, more burst as compared to Castrol with the buff made to Baron. Although you did mention before, with the health being changed as well, generally Baron just do not work quite well. But with the crit builds coming in, maybe it will work. But they are yet again settling for that Adagio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got to see a different draft from Divine Aurora this time because they have not got Rhyme to pick. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go for their same Catherine as a captain. Catherine's good against Adagio in lane. You know it's going to be a lane Adagio. Instead, they're going to go Baptiste and Catherine. So Divine Aurora going back a couple of patches, in fact, probably 3 or 4 patches, going for the Cath Baptiste comp. And the reason why it hasn't been played that much is because it's countered by poke, or someone like a Scarf or a Celeste. Well, Scarf and Celeste are not very strong in the meta. We've seen last patch they were first pick, second pick. The majors were so important, especially to teams in Southeast Asia. Now they're just being completely let through the draft. Rhyme's more important, Oza's more important, and Baptiste is a fantastic counter to all of the assassins that Renegade probably wanted to pick against Kestrel. You want to pick Reza, you want to pick Ozo, Koshka, Taka. Baptiste is fantastic against all of them because they need mobility, they need dive.
As compared to that of Kestrel.
Yeah, I think that definitely could be the way to go. Shingy looks like he's going to get a Storm Crown on the Fortress, so Storm Guard banner at least. But maybe not going for the full Storm Crown, maybe just going for Aftershock first, as you said. We've seen Divine Aurora haven't built an Aftershock, and they're not going to on Baptiste, most likely. So despite what everyone else seems to think that Aftershock is one of the best items this patch, Divine Aurora's going for, no, we're just going to go with standard Shatterglasses and Kestrel, basically. They want to first pick Kestrel, thinking it's that strong. Margin is not able. Spitfire actually secures the last hit on the Elder. Another good aggressive rotation from Divine Aurora. Another good rotation from Renegade. They go, okay, you take our mid camp, we're going to go push the wave, force Kestrel to come up, and force Baptiste to miss his jungle camps and kind of delay his rotation quite a lot. But yeah, they're going to back off now, so Nyansi able to farm up. One thing I want to point out is the tank fortress build, where you maybe get a second Crucible, actually got slightly nerfed this patch indirectly, because Crucible is now much less effective in terms of defense than it was before. Every other defensive item gives you more effective hit points. Thanks, shout out to Physics for doing this on Twitter and telling me all of this information. But as well as Viziox, they both did it. And so now Crucible actually gives you, I think it's 7% less effective hit points. So Crucible is worse this patch, and if Fortress wants to build that against the Echo Catherine, he won't be as tanky, won't be able to kite for Spaghetti as long.
Yep, I'm just afraid they will go that route because, like I mentioned, that route do not have enough damage whatsoever. The damage is lacking in that particular route, and it just doesn't work as well anymore. But Renegades this time able to secure that Elder Treant away from Divine Aurora, although Divine Aurora just did try to steal. But looking over at CS from Neon Sea, we do see 18 CS. As for Spaghetti, clearing this wave out would probably give him, say, 15, 16 CS if he missed none of them, which I don't think he'll miss. And there you go, 17 CS. So overall, CS-wise, it's kind of even. But Chingy versus Baptiste at 15 CS, and then we have Chingy at 10 CS. Chingy do not have the fastest clear, which means it will hinder the rotations coming out from Renegades into lane to try to put pressure. And this was what they were talking about. In order for your Adagio to kind of just run over your enemies in the early game, in the mid game, into the late game. You really need the consistent pressure coming up from the teams. If not, then yourself. But Adagio going
pressure. Adagio could be in a bit of trouble here. There is the Ordained from Batiste. Not going to be enough damage though. Spitfire just bursting him down. And yeah, Nyonci's farming so well. So it's really trouble for Spaghetti to try and apply any kind of pressure. One thing I want to point out is Nyonci in both games picked up an energy battery on Kestrel. Noticed it in the first game and thought, okay, yeah, fair enough. He wants to work on his energy sustain. But generally on Kestrel, you tend to think if you need to buy an energy battery, you're not playing Kestrel properly. Because you should keep your adrenaline stacks up and not need an energy battery. But Nyonci just going, no, I need it. I need to keep this energy up. I want to be constantly able to glimmer shot, constantly able to active camo, and not worry about my adrenaline stack. So what do you think of that idea? Do you think it works? Or maybe it's not great because he could have picked up a Soul Blade almost if he didn't buy the energy battery.
Yep, true. I mean, we saw it in both games, and that is 300 gold that you will generally just toss away in the late game, in the mid game, late game, when you need to open up slots for your other items. But I mean, look at the aggression coming out from Nyonci on this Castro. It makes full sense. It makes total sense for the energy battery being picked up on her in the early part of the game, just so she can just put out so much more glimmer shots, have got more energies for gank and skirmishes. If it do happen, once again, we do see Divine Aurora pushing the wave into the turret and just applying so much poke onto all three members of Renegades.
Yeah, trying to push this wave up, trying to stop that weapon Adagio from having any kind of early game power. Just making sure that he's forced to back off on the turret, maybe lose a couple of minions. Nyonci on 50 CS is farming like a beast this game. There's the Ordained. We put onto Shingi. Going to stick inside that though. Spitfire not doing that much work actually, only with the heavy prism and crystal bit for damage. Is going to be easily tanked up by Shingi with that tier 1 light shield. Now Nyonci going to be burned up by Adagio. Margin wants another stack. We'll get it. Vanguard to keep Spaghetti alive, away from any glimmer shots from Kestrel. Nyonci's going to farm up, port home, get himself a Soul Blade. Maybe rotate down to Jungle Shop. And Fortress, as you said, has such slow farm clear that he's forced to go back to the backs just to clear them out in time, whereas Batiste and Kestrel are going to clear their backs almost instantly.
Yep, and we see now Chingy just do not quite have the damage just yet. He wants to actually just complete that Aftershock first before he puts out any decent form of damage. And like you mentioned, Aftershock works very well because if you have high health, it bursts you down. If you have low health, it still bursts you down. So Aftershock definitely a good pickup for Chingy, but we do see that Storm Crown being completed first, and not the Aftershock, which we were just constantly harping and talking about. And I personally think Batiste just do so well against Chingy on this Fortress. Once again, Merciless Pursuit goes in.
Yeah, we see Divine Aurora once again being the aggressors with Catherine. You can't be aggressive with Arden until you have your gauntlet. Blood for Blood just isn't a fight opening tool. Fortress can with his Truth for Tooth. He can go in, give you a speed boost, protect contact, use there's his attack at the back. From Fortress, that's definitely an engaged tool. Shingy going to jump through that Ordained. It does run out before Shingy actually jumps through it, and just a waste of the attack of the pack, really. Nice damage from Batiste on Spaghetti. He'll heal himself up there with a Gift of Fire pretty soon. And that was really it. Attack of the pack on cooldown 50 seconds. Everything is up for Divine Aurora, except from the blast run from Catherine, only 6 minutes in. Fearsome Shade is used. Spaghetti not going to be hit up by that, but is going to be hit by the Ordained Wall. Nyonci trying to seize this tier 1 turret, but unable to get the basic attack portion of the Glimmer Shot down. The triple scout trap there from Tesla Boy, bit OP. Now Divine Aurora's looking to just rotate through the jungle. I don't think they'll take the gold mine because they know Renegade will be there to try and contest it.
Yep, and Chingy sitting at 33 CS as compared to Batiste. So very good rotations coming out from it. Renegades actually to just deprive Spitfire on this Batiste of farm. I mean, they are constantly forced to come back up into lane to try to siege his turret, if not try to put pressure against Spaghetti even before Chingy does. Chingy has now 35 CS as compared to Spitfire, although they are definitely doing better, the side of Diva, in with regards to
the gauntlet, standing out Kestrel, but gets the extra camo check down in time. Shingy stunned up by the Ordained, stunned up by the active camo. Nice CC chain from, and there's Spitfire doing a lot of damage on Shingy, but not too much. He hasn't got anything for a few seconds till he gets those Reap Soul Fragments back. And now Spitfire's ready for a bit of damage. Versus Judgment to try and clear the wave. It will do a little bit of damage, but not that much. There's the Blast Hammer coming down and the Fist of Shade. Combo chain. Will this be a 2 on turret? Not quite. They're going to go in. Renegade wanted to go aggressive onto Spitfire. He's going to heal up a little bit. Nice damage on Shingy. One more Glimmer Shot will be enough. One shot, one kill is available. Is he going to try and sneak it? Yes, he will. It will hit Darsho, but there's a lovely Vanguard to keep Darsho alive. It does walk into the Ordain Wall, but it won't do enough damage to secure the kill. Now Divine Aurora will easily get this tier 1 turret. Spaghetti is not going to try and defend that by himself.
Yep, and Divine Aurora now looking very similar to that of first game, definitely looking very, very strong coming into this game as well. And currently they are sitting at about 1,000 gold ahead of Renegades. Not a lot of gold, to be completely honest. 8 minutes in, we saw better coming out from Infamous, but now definitely Divine Aurora can go back into farming the jungle, which they've left open for so long. They've left, vacant for so long. They haven't quite returned to it yet. And, Renegades definitely still have got this, right? I constantly say that, and I know I sound like a broken record at this point in time, that I personally think that Renegades have got this. As long as Chingy completes that Aftershock, which he is about 7 gold, 2 gold away from it, and he will pick up the Aftershock right now, and this will grant him a burst of energy, a burst of damage. But would that burst actually be enough, Minimiter? It's another question altogether, because we see so much poke coming out from the side of Divine Aurora.
Yeah, but you could probably say that Spitfire is going to have a lot more burst with the empowered bad mojo, especially with Clockwork's not completed, so he'll only get 1 bad mojo in each empowerment. Adagio has got 2 tier 3 items, Soul Blade and Tornado Trigger completed. This isn't a bad time for Renegade to fight. They're not that far behind. They're only 1,500 gold. The items are almost dead even. In fact, Fortress has got 2, whereas Batista's only got 1. This is a good time for Renegade to fight. There's attack the back, Blast Hammer and Fearsome Shade. But Fortress with the basic attack steals the gold. My god, it's going to come down, trap all 3 members of Divine Aurora in. Kestrel now outside the gauntlet. Batista is empowered. Lots of damage on Shingy though with the Glimmer Shots. But that will be Adagio picking up the kill onto Spitfire. The turnaround for Renegade is real. Leonzi trying to run away towards his sentry. Now he's going to turn, do as much damage as he can on Tezaboy. Glimmer Shots coming through. Fountain use Shingy jumping over the wall. Leonzi's waiting for those Glimmer Shots to come back. Going to get a lot of damage on Tezaboy. Will he be able to get the kill? Yes, he will. There's 1. Will he get 2? Yes, he will. Will he get 3?
Oh!
1 shot. No, the burn and the bleed gets the kill. Kestrel almost with the 1v3 plays. Catherine's going to try and kill Spaghetti, but that's not going to happen. Spaghetti can probably turn around once the Storm God is down. No, he's not going to try. Catherine may be able to get this. Spaghetti will be able to pick up tier 2 boots and run away though, so he'll be fine. Margin's not going to chase, and what a game. The gold is now dead even after that fight.
Yeah, that fight definitely changed it around, and as mentioned, Spitfire had a lot of opportunities to just go back to farm, but that wasn't the case. Too much pressure was placed in lane, too much emphasis was placed in lane, so much so that Spitfire just couldn't get his items on time. I mean, we are seeing him with 50 CS, as compared to Chingy, which we mentioned, just clears so very slow, but 49 close to 50 CS. So, I mean, the junglers itself, usually the CS count on junglers will just be, looked over. They're not as important as compared to the laners, because laners, what drives them really is the CS. But coming into this game, Divine Aurora would have a better lead if they have a better rotation. And that gold mine there, I would have to agree with you. That gold mine there definitely changed the game, changed the tide for the side of Renegades. Renegades have got the damage now. They have got a poke. They have got a dive as well. And thank God they are not actually settling for tag the carry comp. 1 shot, 1 kills comes out, but will be a little wide, missing Spaghetti by a hair.
Yeah, Spaghetti able to dodge that one out, and it does look like they're going to go for a bit more damage Fortress with defense for himself as opposed to just trying to keep Spaghetti alive. So that is working out quite well. Obviously, Fortress is going to dive onto the unseen. If he can secure the kill, then they'll pretty much win the fight. But you saw the power of Weapon Kestrel come out in force at the end of that fight. Kills Tezaboy, kills Shingy, probably would have gotten Spaghetti if the bleed from Fortress didn't kill him. Because he dodged the burst, the sentry was there. But yeah, so they really need to be careful. They can't just focus Spitfire and kill him and then be happy. They have to go on to Nyonsi, have to make sure that Nyonsi dies. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty simple fight for Divine Aurora. And I think I've realised what Nyonsi's doing in these games. He's selling his healing flask to have space for this energy battery. Because I've been wondering how he manages to get the slots for energy battery because everyone, you obviously have boots, you have healing flask, and then you need your items. But he just sells his healing flask much earlier than we see a lot of other people do. Adagio still got his in the lane. Because Leontes thinks instead of the burst energy sustain, I'd rather have constant energy sustain. So that does make a bit of sense.
There you go. You telling the viewers, or rather everyone, that Adagio still has his healing flask. And there you see Adagio is selling his. Now the all 6 members of both teams now up in lane. They will back off. This might just be the calm before the storm. Gold miner is full and is for the taking. And I wonder, with Chingy and all infusions, or 2 infusions coming out from the side of Divine Aurora, they definitely would stand a good chance taking this gold mine, trying to just make full use of those infusions. And Chingy now still also have infusion that it's popped and is open for usage as well. But yeah, not much aggression coming out, or not much objectives taken coming out from the side, from both teams at least. And I would like to see actually more aggression with these objectives, because the side of Renegades definitely do have this. So if Divine Aurora do force this gold miner out from them, then at least they can just engage upon them. And if Spaghetti or the gang of Renegades just go in and take this gold miner, as we can tell from the rotations coming out from Divine Aurora, they just do not quite have the best macro plays across the board.
Yeah, they're trying to see if they can get some objective control and aggression, but it is not quite working out for them. Leontes farming up, got that another infusion. There's been so many more infusions picked up by Divine Aurora than by Renegade. They were together, I think there were 4 infusions, 2 on Kestrel, 2 on Baptiste picked up before Renegade even picked up 1. So that is quite a bit of gold that was kind of wasted, because in the team fight, the teams were very even. So this slight gold lead for Renegade is much more significant when you look at the items, probably. Because, yeah, Adagio with a full Aegis, Kestrel with only an Oak Heart, and they both have 3 tier 3 items. So that is one important thing to note for Renegade. They are ahead in items despite being only slightly ahead in gold. This could be a good time to fight. Adagio and Arden picking up a few flares, try and catch out this Kestrel. Attack of the back is ready for Shingy. There's the Mercy Pursuit. Start the engage. Dive onto Spitfire. Shingy's just waiting and a block out of the Ordained. There's the Gauntlet going to come down. It's going to be blocked up lovely by the Crucible. No block for the Fearsome Shade. Blast Tremor a little bit wide. Fearsome Shade did connect, so that Blast Tremor was not needed. But the Attack of the back was used. So I guess Divine Aurora is just going for, no, we're not going to be engaged once this Wolves are up. We're going to wait for that cooldown. Only 20 seconds now, though, on the Attack of the Pack, whereas Blast Tremor for 68 seconds. So this could be, in 20 seconds, good time for Renegade to fight. The Fearsome Shade will be available, but importantly, Gauntlet and Blast Tremor not. So this would change the fight slightly, means everyone can back off a bit easier. Margin taking a bit of poke. We're going to put down a stun. Spaghetti taking a couple of shots and reflect damage from the Catherine. Renegade trying to push this one shot, not going to connect. And now Spitfire has just farmed up, he's back into lane. Still hasn't got his clockwork, can buy it if he does go to shop. But we are currently 15 minutes in, almost 16. And Spitfire only has 1 tier 3 item, which is why Renegade just aren't worried about his damage.
Yep, Spitfire really needs to complete that clockwork, and as I said, he buys that clockwork. But even then, I personally don't think that one clockwork will change anything. Granted, you can get off 2 bad mojos now, but
you need 2 clockworks then, is that what you're saying? 1 clockwork's not enough, you need 2.
Right.
Attack of the Pack, they thought they were doing the Kraken, but nope, another 25 seconds for no fight.
Yeah, but this, like, once again, Renegades and Divine Aurora just at a standstill. They are definitely respecting the amount of damage that both parties can put out, and they are staying, wary of each other. But one of them will definitely have to force a fight. And if you ask me, in terms of engage, definitely Chingy has got the upper hand, and there you go. We see it happening. Chingy buying that Crucible, probably will end up buying a second fountain for the team as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously, really important against Catherine Baptiste to have a second Crucible. As I said earlier, it's not as beneficial to Shingy himself. Attack of the Pack used, but there's a turret for Divine Aurora, so Renegade just going to dive this tier 1 turret. Block, not going to block the Fearsome Shade from Baptiste. So that was an interesting play from Renegade. Now they're going to be turned on by Divine Aurora. They know the Attack of the Pack and the Gauntlet's not available for a little bit. Attack of the Back and Fearsome Shade on almost identical cooldowns. Great Crucible onto the active camera trap. Leontes going very low. Will the burn be enough? Not quite. Spitfire going to go down. Blast Tremor did silence that Spaghetti, but it was not enough. Kestrel is going to try and run. Will be able to run in the end. And Renegade going, we don't care about your turret. We're just going to dive. Dive onto the Kestrel. Give us a Kraken now, because we managed to pick up Spitfire in the end. So well played.
Yep, I mean they are pretty tanky with their team comp. They have got an Arden for their Vanguard, and the although not a lot of heal, but at least some sort of healing, some sort of sustain coming up from Spaghetti for Chingy, but no Kraken still just yet.
No, we're going to try, but that's another block on the active camo trap by Shingy this time. Tezaway did the first one, Shingy with the second, and Neonsi will be able to survive for now. Fortress does not want to. He does want to dive turret, but he's not going to. The Wolves did despawn, so he's not going to know where Kestrel went. So Spitfire and Neonsi are up to defend this Kraken, but Margin did die trying to defend it. Didn't use the fountain on himself, so that's going to be up when he does respawn. This probably will be at least a 3-target Kraken push, but with the increased health of Kraken, we may even see more from Renegade. They could even push for the win with the fact that the old style 5 Kraken push. Let's see what's going to happen. Attack of the pack used, forcing them to back off. Spitfire going to block out the gauntlet. First gauntlet is down. No echo quite yet for Tezzaboy. He can buy it, but hasn't bought it for this fight. So it looks like with the damage from Kestrel and Batiste, only going to be 3 targets off this Kraken, unless Renegade are going to go into fight now. Ordained is used, no longer available, and Renegade looking to try and poke this tier 3 turret down. No, he's going to go into Spitfire with a bit of dive from Fortress, and that will be tier 3 turret. That will be backing off. Renegade happy with 3 turrets for 1 Kraken. Definitely a worthwhile trade.
Yep, and the team comp definitely starting to just cohesize and just be just so well, just gluing so well and gelling so well together for the side of Renegades. Although we saw in the first game, Divine Aurora definitely very used to a team comp, or rather the team strat that they had. They had Neon Sea on the back lines just poking down anyone that's in front, but now at this point in time, Neon Sea not quite finishing that bone saw or that, you know, tension bow that he probably want to get, although tension bow is not at all recommended. But Neon Sea just do not quite have the damage anymore as compared to the first fight. So the walls of Renegades is just so thick, it is almost impossible to get onto Spaghetti. And thank God for Spaghetti, and thank God for the entirety of Renegades. They are not fighting in close, enclosed spaces anymore. Instead, they are picking their fights in lane, in where Jungle Shop is, where it's just more open, where Spaghetti can just drift around the fold and just put out basic damage. Whereas in the previous game itself, they were playing into the battle conditions, the win conditions of Divine Aurora. So a very good change in battling styles, but now Water is being used.
Water's second echo is used, so Crucible's down from Gauntlet is back up for Tezzaboy. And yeah, I agree with you. Divine Aurora now, it's like, okay, we're just going to stay in the jungle, stay in these close quarters where Kestrel shines, where Batiste shines, and Catherine will... Not as good, but yeah, Batiste and Kestrel really able to land their skill shots so much easier and on multiple targets in the jungle. But we've seen whichever team engages the fight probably wins. In both games, we saw Divine Aurora engage with their Catherine against Stargio last game. Now we're seeing Fortress just dive in onto Divine Aurora. It doesn't matter if there's a tier 1 turret there, they're going to jump in, they're going to try and kill you. So it does seem like whichever team decides to be aggressive is likely to come out on top. The Neon Sea, as you said, cannot pick up a bone saw, won't pick up a tension bow, I really hope. And Shingy still working towards that. Probably Fountain, maybe Aegis, but I don't really see the point. I think Fountain, I agree with you, would be much better. Because there's not going to be a mortal wound on anyone. Kestrel just doesn't pick up Poison Shiv, and it doesn't look like Margin or Spitfire is going to pick one up. So the double Fountain works just as well, as long as they don't tap it at the same time. That requires a little bit of coordination, but both teams are going to float each other out. Gauntlet is back up. Echo not up for Arden yet, and Margin is nowhere near his own Echo. So a good time for Renegade to fight would be in about 40 seconds.
Yep. And I mean, at this point in time, Renegades can just look for a fight. I mean, they have got so much more items. They have got so much damage in terms of items. And Chingy, as well, as you mentioned, whoever that jumps in first, whoever that finds a fight first, Jetnu would come out on top. And the low cooldowns of Attack of the Pack is just allowing the entirety of Renegades, and with the mortal wound inflicted as well, just stunning, then just nerfing the healing coming out from the fountain of Majin as well. So Renegades, they can easily just find any team fight right now. It wouldn't quite go as wayward as, maybe if the side of Divine Aurora would find a team fight, but definitely Renegade. You'll
find a team fight. Margin out of position. His team ported home. He's the only one alive, and that's going to be the start of the engage. Fist and Shake used on the Fortress, and he's going to take a lot of damage. Blast Hammer going to be blocked up. So will the Ordained. So Renegade forced back up, and there's Water from Divine Aurora. They want to go in as well. TensorBoy has got a defensive gauntlet. Echo is up as well. There's the aggressive gauntlet. Stunned out by the Catherine. TensorBoy got another gauntlet though. He did echo it. There's it going to come down. And Adagio gets killed Catherine. Kestrel stuck in the gauntlet wall. Fearsome shaking a fit away Adagio. But it will not be enough. That'll be a double for Spaghetti on this weapon, Adagio. And this will be an easy Kraken unless there is the godly one-shot, one-steal from Leoncy. I doubt it will be allowed to go through. It'll probably be body blocked. You see all members of Renegade on the right side. Leoncy, he's going to wait. He's going to go for it. No, he's not going to try it. And that is probably game for Renegade unless Divine Aurora can bring out the Kraken defense.
Yep, and this is what I'm talking about. Renegade at this, at this current juncture, can just pick their fights. They can't just go in.
Like this, Leoncy needs to farm to get his bone saw. Will he be able to get back to the base in time? Yes, he will. Picks up the bone saw, but Renegade don't care. They're going to go for the turret. They don't need Kraken. When there's only one member left, Kestrel able to reset that boots cooldown with one glimmer shot, but does not have his team. So that means it's only a one turret Kraken push. One shot does hit on Spaghetti. Kestrel some adrenaline stacks, looking to try and get as much poke onto this Kraken as they can. But Divine Auroras need to fight. They can't just take the Kraken down. It will get the turret with no problem. They're doing as much damage as they can. But they need to, as soon as Renegade want to engage, they need to just go on as hard as they can. There's the stun, and they're kind of in close quarters. There's a base wall at the top, but that is going to be so much damage. Spitfire goes down straight away. That's not what Divine Auroras wanted. Renegade get the turret. Adagio's onto the vein. So's the Kraken, half health, and that will be game 2, going to Renegade, taking the series 1-1.
GG, very well played coming out from both sides. And what happened really that turned everything around was Chingy just had a much better rotation as compared to Spitfire on that Batiste. And on top of that as well, Chingy completed the one big item spike that we've been going on and on and on about, since the start of stream, and that would be the Aftershock. So overall, definitely well played coming out from Renegades, and that Aftershock picked up by Chingy definitely changed the game around. Although I would have favored it if Chingy actually picked up the Aftershock first, and that way you can have Spaghetti just going into your jungle just to try hyper farming, get extra EXP, extra gold for both Spaghetti and Chingy, so Chingy don't have to quite have the Storm Crown. But I don't know, maybe it will not work out that way since we saw so much lane pressure coming out from Divine Aurora as well. But overall, very well played to both of these teams.
Yeah, I think that the Storm Crown first is okay because, as you said, they wanted to farm up evenly. They wanted Batiste and Fortress to be even on farm, even on clear speed,